So yeah, Lagos.
Ah, Abby,
Lagos to the bone.
how would you know?
So if they say you cannot vote here in Lagos now, you scatter ground for them.
Why not?
Hmm.
I'm like, cool.
You speak Yoruba well?
Yes, I do. When you grow up, like in a face my face here,
Ah, so you
like
have the typical experience.
yes, I do.
Interesting.
It's just funny how we pick up this maybe not habit, but you just know how to speak, just like that.
Because it's your environment.
Yeah, true. Because that plays a really vital role in our lives, actually.
So you are fully Nigerian. Have you spent any part of your life in the north?
No, I wish I did, but no.
What, by the way, what's your Ayaya thing? Where did that
I
come
it's just
from?
it's a
What's the
slow.
meaning of Ayaya?
It's just a greeting, salutation to my fans. Just like when fellas says, everybody say yeah, yeah. Family says So when I say ayaya, they respond with oyoyo.
And it means hello, hi.
That kind of vibe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I thought at first I thought okay, you know when we say ayaya and ayaya,
Ayaya
that's what I
greeting,
know.
yeah.
Like oh somebody's no oh yo yo like somebody's coming. I don't know the
Eh.
meaning, but that's what I think.
that didn't even cross
You
my
know how
mind
you say
actually.
mommy or
Oh
yo
yeah,
yo
yeah,
like the
yeah,
person
yeah,
is coming
yeah,
home.
yeah.
That's all I know. I don't know the meaning. So I
Yeah.
saw it. I said okay. So what's the meaning?
And
And
funny enough, like I don't know how far it has gone, but people keep saying things like somebody told me day before yesterday. It was like she was at Brimo's concert and somebody said ayaya and everybody said yo. I was like, okay.
that is supposed to be for you. Trademarked. Did you
Yeah.
trademark it?
Well, not yet, but
Why not?
I think it's just a thing and people know I own it. Like it's mine.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am 100%.
So the person who said Ayaya at Brimo's concert, what?
They're my people, like fans, maybe he's a musician and who has been to the Trent Village before. And I mean, I get that. Sometimes, people tell me, like, oh, this artist said this, who knows me? And I mean, like, some of us, my contemporary, like Doti, Deity, I don't know if you know Doti. I've heard him say that a couple of times at concerts, or I even hear people say he said that, also. And then because we kind of have, maybe my fans, my audience also, this type of audience. So when he says that, maybe that way to like relate with them, and then, it just makes sense. Yeah. And also, like, some people who, maybe from the Troop Village, most especially, because it's a small community and you just see someone on the road that or you've seen actually before. Yeah, yeah, I get things like that.
So you decided to ink it?
Yes, I did. And this one was poorly written. I don't like it. But anyways, it's cool.
How how is
I'll
it
put
poorly
yeah.
written?
So I was in Abuja and then I was high and I was with some set of call girls and all that. And she said, she wanted to draw a tattoo, blah blah blah. So she actually called the guy and me.
It's not just
I
music.
told her, okay,
It's
let me to draw now. Let
smooth
me write
music.
you.
That has to be, and you're not even in Vegas. You're
As
in Nigeria. I thought there were only things
in...
people do in Vegas.
so,
That
but,
is crazy.
but anyways, yeah,
Oh
I
wow.
definitely write more.
Okay. That is interesting. All right, so we go in. Okay, we have 24 seconds.
Hi, this is the genie. For the smoothest jazz on the planet. Join me every Sunday from 12 noon to 4 p.m. On the Sunday brunch, right here on Smooth 98.1. Get in on the Sunday brunch, Sundays at 12 noon.
Your headset?
Okay, cool.
The beautiful sound of Smooth Explorer here on Smooth 98.1. And when you hear that sound, you know it's all about the good times. Speak about the music, the special guests, the chats, and of course the fun, the games we get to play in between. And since it is Smooth Explorer, it means that whoever our guest is, you explore their lives and you know one or two things about them. You can even ask your question. Maybe you're a big fan of the guest and you have been itching to know why they tick and some things that they say or do, and you want to just find out. This is your chance to. So, all along, the number has been and will continually be 0809 444 0981. That's the WhatsApp line. Strictly WhatsApp. Do not call it. But if you want to call, the number is 01 448 9981. So, some of the perks of following us on social media is that you get to have information ahead of time. It means you will know who my guest this morning is. He is a big name in every sense of it. He is a trumpeter, the Hansman. Well, he is a jazzist. He is a music writer, a composer. He's called the Voice of Africa, which we'll get to later on. He is the one that decided to put together a place called Truth Village. We will also drill down into what it is. So, when it concerns jazz, he has been to the length and breadth of jazz and then the fusion of jazz, high life, Afrobeat. It's so beautiful that he called it earth music. We will also know where that came from. He's performed at the Lagos Jazz Festival, the Abuja Jazz Festival, the Bayelsa Jazz Festival. He's been all over the world. He just returned to Nigeria not quite long from touring UK and Europe, all about the gospel of jazz and also Afrobeat. In South Africa, if you are one who frequents the place, you will catch him at the likes of the Creep, Straight No Chaser, and the Orbit. And according to Sheon Kuti, he's regarded as one of the best things to come out of Lagos. Although he's from Akwa Ibom, going by the state of origin, but he's Omoiko Gongon. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the one and the only Etuk Ubong. Yeah. Good morning. Oh, no, sorry. Ayaya.
Oh, yo.
How are you?
I'm all right, very well. How are you doing today?
I am fine. Great to have you in here with your cowrized ton. I have never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. This reminds me about my experience visiting the great Kwame Nkrumah's tomb and graveyard. I was in Ghana, I think, last 3 years, and I wanted to really see, and pay my respect to the great Pan Africanist and the father of Pan Africanism, actually, Kwame Nkrumah. So I went there and I remember things like, think Africa, leave Africa, and buy Africa. Then I stopped by the art and craft market just close to the museum, and I decided to design my trumpet, with the carriers, because that's a symbol of Africa, And also, fella Nicola Kokote also did the same with his saxophone at some point in his life. I think that's where the inspiration, because I've seen it before and I like what it looks like, and I hope that the companies will make this horn because I like this particular brand. We can have a dialogue when time comes, and then we can start making trumpet like this, maybe Etuk series or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. It's very. I know you have that thing going with calories. You have it on your on. You have it everywhere. I was wondering, is it that you have a special affinity or liking for it, or because I know someone who said she thinks it's the symbol of money and wealth and goodness.
Yes, it is. I mean, like everybody knows, but how cowries were utilized those days back in the days. But then now, it just reflects Africa, man. Because this is our thing, and this is us. So we must just leave Africa, think Africa, because also we need to keep educating people, telling the stories of the African stories, the beautiful African stories out there, the aesthetic and everything, Africa. So the way we dress, the way we eat, our food, the way we talk as well, the music, which has been a great export so far, everything. So the Kari aside from the symbol of, paying money, I think people should just, do with whatever, however
Mhm.
they can today, you know.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes, I do.
Ah, okay. Because I was just curious. I mean, with the way you are about the culture
Yeah.
and the tradition about Africa, the soul, the everything, I'm thinking, are you sure this is not somebody's grandfather who came back? Because you talk and your ideologies are like that of a 90-year-old man. But you've just spent some decades here on Earth, and I'm thinking, whose grandfather is this?
Well, let's say I'm lucky. I wish I'd spent more time, with my grandfather, because my grandfather was a chief priest. A beautiful
Like
story.
chief
Yeah,
priest,
chief priest.
the communion with the spirits chief
Yes,
priest.
yes.
Oh.
He was born just an ordinary man, just like us, and then real life story. He got missing for like 6 months. Yes. He came back. He said he was in the sea for 3 months. He was in the forest for 3 months with the spirits. That's what he said. And he came back with powers. He never had those powers. We were surprised. I wasn't born. My dad told me the story, and then he started like healing people, and he played pranks on people. Sometimes he disappears and then appear, and then when he disappears, he can just choose one person to see him. I wrote a song on him from my previous album, Equal Mom Mom. So but it was beautiful. Unfortunately, my dad wasn't interested. My dad was very close to him. His brothers weren't interested, and I happened to just like everything about culture,
Hmm.
especially reflecting culture and upholding it. So I guess maybe it was that
Interesting.
direction, but also like I'll see and take that as one of the legacies
Hmm.
I want to like continue.
This is not related, I promise. But I just remember something that happened this morning, just this morning when I came to work. So I
Yeah,
usually come here, I'm the first person to come into the studio. And when I got upstairs, there's that AC in the central place. I
yeah,
turned it off because it was cold. I know I was coming into the cold in here in the studio. So I turned the AC off and I came into the studio. So I went out to get something from the printer. I
yeah.
wanted to get the printer out and the AC was back on.
How?
I don't know. So are you sure you didn't come here before now to play a prank?
Oh, I was in my car already,
Okay, but how did you start this journey into being this culture custodian that you are? Because I don't, it's hard to separate your culture, your
Yeah.
beliefs, the music you
Hmm.
make, and the whatever it is that you're about.
Well, I just want to make sure that I'm able to like make people realize what Africa is and the beauty of Africa. Although I happen to like my mom was a religious fanatic Christian. My dad more on the traditional side. But then growing up as a child, once your parents just say, "Oh yeah, let's go to church," you don't question them. You just go to church. So I probably had no reason to go to church, but maybe there was a divine purpose for that because I also believe in the universe and how things align together. And if I hadn't gone to church, then I probably wouldn't have probably played the trumpet or known
Mm.
about music and all that. Because I found myself in the church and I started playing the conga drums just by myself, self taught. And from there, I started playing other instruments. And one funny thing happened, my mom. So I think the church bought a new trumpet and they hired the guy to come play. After the church service, my mom took me to the guy, and she was like, "I remember that particular phrase. This is my son. I want you to teach him how to play the trumpet." And that's how I started, you
Wow.
know. And but then I grew up to a point where I started reading books. After I got exposed to I think it was when I played in Femi Kuti's band. And before then I was exposed to the music of Fela Nicola Kuti, especially what he fought for and what he represented. Because my dad used to play the documentaries. We just watch videos. Fela Kuti talking and all that. Not even listening to the music
Mm.
about the music now, but documentaries of him talking. And fighting government and all that. So when I got to the band, I started reading books, about Africa, especially Fela, his autobiography by Carlos Moore. And then from there, I read about autobiography of Malcolm X,
Mm.
and from Malcolm X, it just opened me up to a lot of people: Kwame Nkrumah, Marcus Garvey, Fred Hampton of Black Panthers, just name them, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, all of these great people, and I was like, okay, at this point, this is what I want to be. I was a jazz fanatic then because I was crazy about jazz music, and at that point, I started thinking Africa, everything Africa. I need to like find myself. It was like being open to consciousness, being open to who you are. Like I was like, shit, this is it, man. This is who I am. Ever since then, everything I think about is Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jazz. I would want us to start it, although we have a break coming up shortly, but we can as well start it.
Hmm.
Now, some regard jazz as music for the elite.
Okay.
Some say it's an acquired taste for matured palate.
Mm.
And here in Nigeria, I don't know if we have such a big reception for jazz, but you are a jazzist, a
Hmm.
very good one. You've gone length and breadth. You studied at the South African,
College of Music, University of
all
Cape
about
Town. Yeah.
jazz. So, how has it been for you, the reception?
The reception in Nigeria, well, to be honest, jazz isn't really a big thing, yeah. Although there's a community here in Nigeria, group of people who really do like jazz music, you know, because it's not commercial, you know. Very few people who like it, and they kept to the tradition, because I know of few people like Oti Bazunu, who does this Lagos Jazz series. I don't know if it stopped or it still happens, but and there's Shadare who does Lagos Jazz Festival, things like that. And then there used to be runway jazz, so
Yeah.
it was a big thing, but then, just built for that community. There are always people,
Mm.
but I don't think it should be, or that word elite, you know. Music is music, man. Whoever it is that loves music or wants to like, connect with that mood and the energy, because I believe so much in energy and how music, passes energy, especially from the artist or the musicians, So we should just like it, love it, embrace it as much as we can.
And what do you do or say to people who just don't like it? They can't stand it. Some say it's boring. I remember, I'll give you an instance. So I was in an Uber ride one day. It
Yeah,
was on a Sunday. I was coming from somewhere and I
yeah,
was going home. So I was listening to Sunday brunch from Jeannie. So of course it was jazz.
yeah.
And the guy said, "Are you sure?" So the show was on for about 10 minutes, and the guy says, "You're not doing anything." I said, "No, this is it. This is the show."
Exactly.
Because some people don't understand. They're waiting for some vocals. They're
Yeah.
waiting for something. No, this is the show, and I would never forget that experience.
And also, like, you see, the Nigerian culture, where we're coming from, back in the 60s and 50s, like I like music, Fuji, in the 60s, then when you had the Royal Chicago's venue, Bobby Benson venue, all of these people, they had their own spot in Lagos, and it was high life music. You see, the nightlife was really happening then. Tony Allen, a lot of them, Rex
Mm,
Lawson, so it was more like high life. Even like the high life musicians either play instruments, and when they play instrument, they are also like they've got like influence of jazz music, jazz elements in their style and approach of playing and improvisation. And but yet it's still like we it has really never been a thing like that, but I feel people should just be open minded. We need to be open minded a lot, because traveling around the world and seeing people from wherever, they don't even know what you sing about or
they're
talk
just
about. They're just
dancing. Yeah.
vibing and dancing and just getting into the groove and all that. But Ninja, if you play jazz music or somewhere, and then you don't have the jazz people who are crazy or they know what jazz music is, or
Yeah,
more,
on
you
your
start
own.
seeing people pressing their phone and all that, and so I just feel we should be more open minded.
Mm.
But really, with the alternative scene also, you've got things like that can also fit into it, especially the young people like our contemporary and the Gen Z people too, so they are more like open-minded to things like that now.
Mm.
Okay, I feel like it's coming because some of the bands or artists, when they play, they've got like some instrumentations and people actually like the sound, so people go for them. I think it's
Yeah.
making more sense nowadays. To,
Hopefully, we have a growing community for it. Not just community, like Etuk said, beyond the boundaries of a
hmm
community. Jazz is good music. It
It's
is.
beautiful, man.
It allows you to think. It settles you. It's I don't know. It's just one of those songs you can truly call, or rather, the genre you can truly
Yeah,
call beautiful.
right.
Because sometimes you can't even express it.
True.
You can't describe. You
It
just
puts
know.
you right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take a break, and when we come back, I will still have the jazzist here. His name is Etuk Ubong, and you can send in your thought on WhatsApp 0809 444 What's the meaning of your name?
That's a
Yeah,
King Ubon Glory.
Etuku's king.
Yeah.
Ubong is glory. So King Glory or King of Glory, which one do you call
I
yourself?
don't even know the way they just put the name like that. I like it because it sounds.
Royal.
Yeah.
Interesting. I saw some of your performances, and I'm thinking, these guys, they don't, do they know what you're singing? They're just jumping, and like, are you? It's crazy how music really has no boundaries if you can just
True,
connect.
true.
Because there are some, I'm a fan of South African music. I don't understand half,
Exactly.
one over four of their kosa and the tongue clicking, but I know I like it.
Right.
I'm just bopping my head. It's the same way I saw a video. So there's this guy that makes videos and skits on the street of, I think, London.
Oh,
And
okay.
he would just come up with random words of music and expect you to connect it. And then he was doing this burner song, um, last.
Yeah.
So he mentioned some parts, and I was surprised to see about three white guys completing it and then bopping their
Man,
heads.
I mean, I also you know where Nigerian music is now, and everywhere. So people, I think we're really the center of the world and the envy of the world now.
But do you sometimes worry for us that everybody is taking, because I don't know if it is Afrobeats the word is taking or Afropop.
I feel they should have called it or just stick with Afropop really.
Because when you listen to a number of songs, they are dancing and enjoying it. It's more like Afropop.
And the idea of the Afrobeats. I mean, like if it was even Afrobeat, it still makes sense. Then we say evolution of Fela and Nicola Pukuti. But then with the S, what are they trying to say? So
I honestly did not understand it. I still have something on Netflix because I'm a fan of documentaries.
okay.
So I still have the Afrobeats. Is it the rise of Afrobeats now with Burna and some other artists on YouTube?
Okay.
So initially I thought I was going to see something like Fela, Femi Kuti, and
Yeah.
some other legends there, but it's more of, I think Burna, I never got to see it. It's on my list. Maybe I'll get to watching it one of these days.
I know
And-
Ninja too.
What is Afrobeats with the S?
Well, they just want to give it a shape, and because there's already a foundation as well. So, and Ninja wants to start talking about politics and societal issues and all that. Fella. Yeah.
And my worry is how humans can be extreme. So this is what I mean. You know how when everybody started loving up on Africa,
Yeah.
it was like Africa became one country.
I wish.
And so now they think, no, when I mean Africa became one country, they don't know what is different. They don't know
Nigeria,
Ghana. They say,
Yeah.
oh, I'm coming to Africa. As if
True.
Africa is. No. So the same way, I am worried that they could start lumping Afrobeats, thinking every music you listen to
Is
from
Afrobeat.
is. And there are other people who are doing different things.
Yeah.
You still have Afro soul artists. You still have the Afro jazz, or But
Even I like music as well.
yeah,
I think we're doing good in that area because with our piano,
oh, there is that.
and when artists like Flavor, are out there touring America and doing stuff, it's actually I like, and then people they've got their own crowd, so it's making more sense.
True.
But I just wish like we have like Afrobeat should be all can be Afro pop. Like the Ashakes and Rema and the rest
Please,
of this
Asha,
side.
don't even mention Asha.
Uh,
I was somewhere and we're having a good time and they played about six Ashake songs and I could not tell them apart
okay.
because it was one beat. I did
Yeah,
not know.
yeah,
And this is me being genuine. I didn't know them apart. So it felt like, why are you
yeah.
playing
Same
one
thing.
song for so long?
Yeah,
Until I realized it was different.
yeah.
Why? I'm a piano is fine, it's energetic, it gets you dancing, tapping, but guy, there is a limit. There is so much a person can take.
Mm.
He needs, I know people have been saying it and he's not listening. Some said, just leave him, he's gotten his mojo or whatever, his secret
Mm.
ingredients. But no,
But
somebody
that's almost the same thing with Rema at some point.
I don't know much of Rema songs. So
Okay.
sometimes I feel
That's
I'm living under a rock because of the kind of songs that I listen to here.
what
Because
what kind of songs do you listen to?
here we're about the jazz, the
Mm.
funk, the
Okay.
R&B's, the
Right.
soul music.
Oh, okay.
So mostly what I listen to, and that's one of the reasons I love here. Because
Yeah.
out there, it's about the
Also, yeah, there's so much for you to digest, man. How do you take in everything?
I know we do it. We're coming back.
You guys are magicians, and
If there is any why that comes after that song, it is why does the song have to finish? It is so sweet. That is YO, the latest from Etuk Ubong, my special guest this morning. And before that, I played you one I call my favorite. Oh, yeah, I mean, Margaret. Right? Did I get it right?
yeah.
Aha. So I am yet to ask my question on that. But if you want to be a part of the conversation, you want to see his face. He has this cap going on that looks like the things that kings wear before they wear their crown. But then it's crochet, right?
Yeah.
So you can see it on YouTube. It is youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. Again, smooth 981 FM Lagos. That's the YouTube channel. You see my face, you can say hi to us and we hi back. You can also go to Twitter at smooth 981 FM. It's the handle. Hashtag is breakfast in bed 981. And you can come to WhatsApp. It is 0809 444 Yes, you are regarded as the voice of Africa. Who gave you that? Did you give yourself?
Yes, I did.
Why?
I just want to be, the voice of the people, because, like I said, more like a storyteller with fact, and I just want to share this knowledge and also tell the people out there, especially the people in the diaspora and the people back home. It's about the African education. Many lies have been told about Africa,
Mm.
and both the past and the present, especially so we start from the past because history is always very important for you to know where you're coming from and how you got to where you are today, and I just tell them how it is, and this is what happened, this is what our ancestors did to us, this is what they did to our ancestors, and these are the impact it has on us today. Things like that I talk about, and and just speak my truth as much as I can, but Africa being the bone of contention, and look, my name is Etuk, and I am definitely the voice of Africa.
That sounds like a payoff line, like a tagline. Like you've listened to a lot of things, and right now, my name is Etukukbong, and I am the voice of Africa. Take it or leave it.
I did tell you.
Oh, you see that truth you mentioned?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Your place is called the Truth Village.
Yeah.
You have a lot of things going on with truth. You just mentioned that you sing your truth.
Yeah.
First off, what is the truth?
The truth, like I said, great people like fella Nelson Mandela, Fred Hampton, Ken Saro-Wiwa, Marcus Garvey, Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, all of these great people needs to be celebrated. Their legacies need to be reflected and bestowed upon us. Like we just need. It's a movement. It's a community. And they represented truth. And the truth they represented was most of them for the emancipation of Africa. for Africa to be free, for the black man to be free. I don't even like using the word black because it sounds like, a racist word. For Africa to be free, actually, and I needed to build a space where these people can be celebrated because someday I'm going to be one of them, and also I believe I speak my truth, what I know to my best of to the knowledge, to the best of knowledge I have, speak the truth, advocate for people, speak against, injustice, corruption in the world, everything about our society and also how the human race, can just grow and develop to something beautiful, which it should be, about love, about equality. Probably the world can't actually be equal, unfortunately, and we can't live in the best world so far. But I just feel like we humans have the responsibilities of the world in our hands, So all of this truth encompasses, and so I created a space where it's actually a community, which is the village, and for like minds to come, or if you're finding yourself, just come to truth and you discover who you are. No segregation, no discrimination, nothing, no class. Just come. Everybody is one, whether you're rich or you're poor. What I can always tell people is like, if you're rich, give to the needy. You know, if you are part of the needy, establish yourself and look for a way because you can't be begging all the time now. So things
That's
like
fair
that.
enough.
Hmm.
So if there were to be some words, some lines to be said at your funeral,
Hmm.
what would it be? What would you want it to be?
Hmm.
Why are you laughing?
Oh, more, I don't know.
Let me tell you where that came from.
Please tell
As
me.
you were speaking, it
Yeah,
sounded like the things, your legacy, the things you want to be remembered for.
yeah.
When you were talking about the music and all
Hmm.
of that, I'm thinking, okay, what? Because here in Nigeria,
Yeah,
in this part of the world, we're so religious. We don't want to hear the mention of death,
true.
but we will die,
Definitely.
and
That's
people
part
are
of life,
dying.
right?
If you're on social media, you'll see a number of people dying.
True.
So what happens when you're gone? What would you want people to say about you? Because again, I saw a tweet 2 days back. He said three places where people lie the most:
Mm.
funerals, marriages, and birthday celebrations.
Mm.
Because people have to lie to make you sound good or look good.
Which I don't like that really. Just say it the way it is and the way it was your experience with the person, good or bad. I mean, like you're not the European Jesus Christ now, So you're just human. However, you can't satisfy humans. It's like you want to like solve or the world hunger. You want to like solve the problem about the world hunger. So people should just say it. But I want to be remembered for something. I want to be remembered as the voice of Africa, and that's it really.
Do you think music can change the world in quotes? Can it set things right?
Absolutely, I do think so. I know that for sure actually, because with someone like they've done it before with football, Pele, and music can actually do that as well. Unfortunately, really, when the likes of Kwame Nkrumah fought for African unity, Africa is still not united today. Gaddafi did the same thing. Africa is still not united, you know. But still, they shouldn't be too much. They shouldn't be sad or too embarrassed about where Africa is now. As long as there are people like me, there are people like there are people who have this knowledge and intellectual about things like this. So all we just need to do is just continue influencing people, about this, So and I'm doing that with my art form, music, and there are other people also doing this same thing like this. So whether you like it or not, whatever actually, be it music or something else, can actually unite the world and bring the world together. If the people of the world are serious and interested, you
And
know.
if they are not,
Ah, I don't know. There are other planets now. They are going to the moon already.
hmm.
The same people of the world going to the moon.
And we continue the corruption that we take to the moon.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Well, on WhatsApp, Omogbai says, would his music sound different if it was done entirely in Yoruba or English? Because I noticed he sounds exactly like Fela.
Oh, okay. I would take that as a compliment too. But anyways, my next album and next couple of projects actually, I sing in Pidgin. I sing in Yoruba because Wayo it's got Yoruba,
Yes.
the Mowawo Molo part, you know, Pidgin, Ibibio, Yoruba, English. You know, yes.
So wayo is an expression of what?
Expression like of a jobless brother or sister, beefing your neighbor who's hardworking and who works hard, very hard to earn a living, and at the end of the day, I work hard. I work hard to take good care of myself. I look pretty, I look good, and then why you still they beef me now? Like just leave me, make I survive, leave me, don't beef me, just leave me alone,
Hmm.
and go get some work done because we have a lot of jobless people like that, you know.
Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, like face my face you now. That's where I grew up in a face my face you. So all of these things, when it comes like that, I remember a brother like that was always at home. Me, I'll be practicing and they'll come and bang in the house, bang the door, like report me to the landlord, the owner of the street. I'm stressing them, blah blah blah. And then when it just happened, the first time they saw me on national TV, I think then I was a sideman with Dr. Victoria. We went to play a gig and there's someone on TV. That's why I take blow from my street though. I became everybody's friend.
Ah,
Yeah,
success has 1,000 fathers.
true.
Now, speaking of your practice, you perform, or at least you're on the stage for at least
Yeah,
three
3 nights a
days.
week. Yeah.
Where, how did you start that, and what does it take from you?
Well, I'll say I was fortunate to have worked with great people, great musicians, like Dr. Victor Laya, Stadium Hotel. That's where I actually started my career professionally,
Mm.
as a teenager. And then I also played with Femi Kuti as a sideman as well at the Shrine. These are great people, amongst other artists that I worked with. With Victor Laya, we played 2 nights a week, Wednesdays and Sundays, was very intense. Then at the Shrine, we also played 2 nights a week, then Thursdays and Sundays,
Yeah.
also very, very intense. And I mean, like, because so I started this thing called Wednesday Shit Show when I had my own space, and when I started the Truth Village. Wednesday Shit Show, more like a rehearsal, but also like, yeah, the rehearsal making and the process of making the music and all that, you know, you're there to experience it. Then the shit show is
The
talking.
word on radio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the sake of the younger ones.
WSS. Anyways.
That's better.
So the show just talks about addressing the societal issues,
Mm,
the current gist in the land, especially political ones,
mm,
yeah. So that's what we do on Wednesdays, and Fridays, it's called the Friday Retro Night, and that's about the African spirituality. Um, a lot of young people nowadays don't even understand what libation is. You know,
what's libation?
when you pay homage to to our ancestors, to your
Oh,
ancestors, Thanksgiving, words of affirmation, these things are very important. Our forefathers used to do them. In fact, our fathers, you see that in a gathering where they just want to drink and just marry, they pour drink just to like give thanks. So everything that has to do with like believe in your church and your religion, it's beautiful. As long as it works for you, we respect that. I respect that. But don't forget that we are people we are Africans. We've got culture, we've got our religious system, and our spirituality. It is beautiful. It is not diabolical. It is not wrong. It is actually beautiful. So it depends on how you use it, right or bad. Like I can also use the Bible as a weapon too, good or bad. Yes, So libation is just part of it. Cleansing, bring people together. So on Friday we do that. And when it happens, each time we pour libations and we say these words and pay homage and all that, it unifies the people. You just the atmosphere just changes and everybody's there. I did it in Netherlands, Admir Festival, Africa Festival in Admir. And the before I went on stage, the programmer, just came. Etuk, my friend from so and so place said, they've seen you in Nigeria do this, libation, and would like you to like do perform it here and all that. And this were all the Oibos and the Europeans and everybody. They don't even know what these things are. When I got there, I told them we are going to bring whiskey, anyone, because definitely they can't find Chelsea there now, you know. And I told them to bring the whiskey. They brought the most expensive one, and I got on stage and I told everyone to like, guys, stand up. I'd like you to be on your feet so we can pay homage to our ancestors, because it's very important for us to do this. This is going to unify us. This is going to bring the right energy, and everybody did. It was so beautiful. Me, I felt goosebumps, I swear, because it was like thousands of people and they were like, Ashe, you know. Now
Hmm.
they are curious. They want to know who Malcolm X is. They want to know who Thomas Sankara is. They want to know who Ken Saro-Wiwa is. They want to know who Funmilayo Anikulapo-Kuti is. They want to know who Nina Simon is. They want to know who all of these people are and how important and why am I paying homage to these people? Because we need to pay homage to them now.
Hmm.
And okay, so that's Friday ritual night,
Okay.
and then Sunday commune is just party, party. Let us have fun, man. We've been through a lot already as people. Let us celebrate and party. Like the great Emotep said, he said, let us eat, drink, and marry, for tomorrow we shall die. So it's part of the
Wow. Please, how many ancestors did you come into the studio with? Let me be sure. Let me be sure. If I'm alone in the studio,
oh boy.
you carry people for nobody.
I can't be alone.
Ah, that's quite interesting. I have this message from Omogbai on WhatsApp saying, how's it turn out to his shows and what age range? And does he welcome other genres?
Yes, we do. The turnout is actually very nice. Like I said, we're building a community. Sometimes it's actually packed. Sometimes, we just have people there, and so we are still building. You're welcome to be part of the movement. Part of the community. The age range, I honestly think we have more students there. You
That's
know,
interesting.
yeah, because I usually see a lot of students. Unilag, also wherever, and then we have a few working class people that also come there. So between, I really can't even say their age, but you see me like 20, 21 to like
Gen Zs.
27. Yeah, then you have like 30 something to 40. All sort of people that are there, because I have them as friends, as family, and I know I interact with them most of the time too when I have the opportunity to.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Wow, you have a very interesting one going. But the last, I don't know if it's the last question.
right.
What is Etuk's philosophy?
Okay. So I've got my own perspective and the way I see life, and which I do that through the music and maybe whenever I talk about those things, you know. So it's just what I stand for and what I represent.
And also the name of your band?
Yeah. So that's actually the name of the
Yeah,
band,
I
Etuk Philosophy. I mean, the music we play, everything that I sing about, it's actually the philosophy, um, about freedom, about consciousness, about sex, about life. Yeah,
So that means everybody on your team believes in what you believe in.
I believe so. I believe so. Because, I mean, it aligns, when you see my musicians, you see, you kind of ask yourself, are these people on drugs? Sometimes you just see like a Wednesday rehearsal just turn into some kind of spiritual encounter. Like it just becomes very powerful and energetic, and the energy is always there. Whether rehearsal or normal show, whether we have one person in the house, so you see us playing as if we have thousands of people in the house. Now imagine when we have thousands of people, kind of energy. So the bond is there. I think I've got like very great musicians, who understand the vision and what I represent.
We were supposed to play a game, but time is gone.
Okay, thank God, because I'm not good with games actually.
How did time fly so by or fly by so fast? It's wow. Okay.
We had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and there is so much still that we've not even uncovered. But this beautiful guy will not just make an appearance without making a sound.
Okay,
So what are you doing for us?
you said I should make a sound though. That's a
Nope,
sign.
nope, that is no sound. You have to do something. Okay.
Okay, let me show off now.
Okay. Go
Mhm.
ahead. A good show off that was. In fact, it deserves a round of applause. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Mm.
Well, thank you. Where's my round of applause?
Ah.
Hey. I was not sure what happened, but thank you so much for being here and sharing with us some of the things you believe in. And we say cheers to more body of work coming from you and more beautiful music. And of course, increasing people who know about good music.
Mm.
And what should we expect, of course?
Well, just expect everything beautiful. Um, expect well, my next album will be out next year, early
Okay.
next year, and afterwards, which will be followed by with a world tour. We'll be touring the UK, Europe, North America,
Mm,
Mexico, Canada, and some part of America as well.
you're going all
Um,
out.
yeah, yes, we're
Wow.
doing that. So
By the way,
we'll spend most of the time next year touring the album, the new album, and then one more single this year.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I still, like I mentioned earlier, I still have many questions, but hey, we are out of time. So we just have to get out of the studio. And if you have been watching on YouTube, I'm sure you would have gotten some behind the scenes gist. So thank you so much, Etuk, for being here. Cheers to touring and going everywhere safely.
Thank you, Sean, for having me.
And yeah, we will be here to enjoy the music that you make. And
Yeah.
that's how we end the show for today. Thank you so much. 9:55. We are so out of time. Thank you to all who have been there from 7 a.m. with me till now. Always a pleasure to know you're there listening. And of course, you have to return because we have so much lined up for you. 11 o'clock is for Total Football, and it's all about the really great football talks and the energy as always. And afterwards, you will enjoy the Nigerian soul music from 12 till 5. And after that, it's Luxury Soul with the genie himself. And when Luxury Soul is done, you'll listen to the really good reggae blues from 9 till Mama Calls. Next week, I will be with you on Strictly Soul. And of course, next week again, I'll be with you on Breakfast in Bed. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun. By the way, you can check Etuk Ubong on social media. It is Etuk Ubong on Instagram and then Etuk_Ubong on Twitter, I believe.
The Etuk Ubong on Instagram, then Etuk Ubong on Twitter.
Either way, just search for Etuk
Mm-hmm.
Ubong, it will come
I'm
up.
very
He's the only
popular,
Etuk
world
Ubong.
famous Etuk.
Voice of Africa, we
Yes.
hear you. Thank you so much. And of course, I will also put the link to watch this video on our WhatsApp status. I'm signing out with this one from him, the man himself. It's called Battle for Peace. Bye.
Damn, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm
Sean.
trying to make sure that. Oh, yeah. So you're back to your, you don't like to call it shrine, village.
Oh,
Why?
my village actually.
Why don't you like to call it village?
More shrine is better. The village is bigger than the shrine. The shrine in the village.
The shrine is, oh, okay. Okay, so I gotta do this. Let me.
Moving, grooving music on Smooth 98.1. Hey, what's up?
Oh, yeah.
This is Dari. Stay
Sorry.
tuned. Stay locked right here on Smooth 98.1.
Okay, we're good.
What does future forward banking
So
mean
you're back
to
to your
you?
village. Do you stay
Speed,
there?
innovation,
Well,
convenience,
most of the time, I
lifestyle
go
goals,
there.
or just
Most of the
simply
time
getting
I
service that is
spend
designed
most of
just
my
for you?
time there actually.
Yeah, we thought
Day
you
and
might
night.
like all of
Yeah.
that.